Insert Dorian.
Why would you lob a cream tea at a Viking?
Marmite. What's this thing? Might take a nap after this.
You can stick your feet up your ass. Hello, and welcome to episode 14 of The Night Shift. With me this week, I have Rob. And we have Nat, all the way from Australia. And as it stands, the signal's quite good, so fantastic. Hello, Nat.
G'day, mate.
G'day to you. Good morning to you and good evening to us.
Yep.
As
How you
it's
going?
doing well, work has been chaos as ever, and as a recent iTunes review said, they were actually looking forward to our plumbing hour, Rob.
Don't tempt us.
I will go on, and I'm not going to go into it now because I could. What's on this week's show, Rob?
Usual sort of crap, really. We have in the disc tray, we've got no we do have rose-tinted glasses, don't we? We have Arrested Development come back from the grave. Very brief competition, little bit of news, bit of AOB, but first, as always these days, we have an interview.
With yourself, Nat. Now, thank you for coming on at such short notice.
No problem at all. Always happy to talk to you guys. You've been so helpful and supportive of my, game and things like that. So
listen, I don't know if you've listened to previous shows, but I mean, I love the game. Honestly, it is fantastic.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to completely ignore all the questions for 2 minutes now because there's something I'm literally dying to know, and it probably cut this out if you don't want anyone else to know it. On one of the levels, obviously, one of the points is that you can chain kill everything in one go.
Yes.
I did that, but I was out by 3 kills on one of them. I took a photo of it. I know, it's 135 robots and 128 kill streak.
Yep.
I was literally 2-3 mil off completing the S line. What happens when you complete the circle?
You get S+.
See, thank you. I always thought it was something. I've literally tried to do it several times. I can't think what level it is.
This is where I was expecting you to say you get my Grand Theft Auto 4 key to the city through the post.
Well, yeah, you can have that. Maybe I'll offer that as a prize to the first person who S+'s the entire game, because it's going to be hard.
It's going to be ridiculously hard. Now,
Go on, Rob.
I was going to say, I'm making reference to a conversation I was actually having with your brother.
Yeah.
About you one of the first people to 100% Grand Theft Auto 4?
Yeah, well, I'm not really into Grand Theft Auto games that much, but when that one came out, it just kind of clicked with me, and I started playing it a lot when it came out, and they announced that if you 100% the entire game in the first week and a half, and link your save file with their online social thing, they send you a key to the city. So they actually sent us out a pack.
I've seen it. Someone posted one on Reddit a few days ago.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's a big Rockstar key, isn't it?
Yep. It's quite weighty.
It doesn't actually look like a heap of crap. It actually looks pretty substantial.
It looks like a beast. It really, really does. I actually have a confession to make. I was thinking about the Grand Theft Auto 5 release, and I'm thinking, well, what's the last one I played? And then it's quite depressing to say it was actually Vice City. It is very good, but I've not played 4.
I'll tell you what is a harder question for me. So what's the last one I enjoyed?
Yeah.
Oh, they're not that. 4 isn't that bad, is it?
I think
really
3 was a 3 that one that was set in Los Angeles in Compton, and you ended up in kind of
that's
the last
San Andreas.
Was it San Andreas? But that's the last one I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
really enjoyed it. I thought the music was brilliant. I thought everything about it was brilliant. I thought it was the right sort of size. I didn't even mind the file saves. It had those irritating missions restarts, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I like the way you could build your physique and all sorts of things.
That game had so much to do. It's like endless amount of gameplay.
There is a lot to do on those games. There is, there's a lot.
We've gone off on a tangent already. This has got to be a new record.
Yes, probably. So for those of us who don't know who you are and the studio, would you mind giving us a brief history, please?
Sure thing. Well, I'm Sanatana Mishra, but everyone calls me Nat, so that's what we'll be using tonight because it's just way easier. And I'm from Team Witchbeam. We're a three-man indie team based in Australia. We're all kind of ex-industry veterans. I've spent about 5 years in the industry working for Sega Studios Australia, back to when they were Creative Assembly and working on Total War. Kind of worked on a cross-section of different games. You know, the recent Castle of Illusion HD that's coming out, I made about 2/3 of the levels that are in that. I worked on the Olympics game that came out last year, and a really bad console RTS title called Stormrise. Probably best if you don't play that one.
I'm going to now, you know that.
Oh, God. And yeah, so I've been doing a lot of that stuff. And the other two guys on the team, there's Tim Dawson. He's an animator by trade who's been in the industry about 9 years, I think. He's worked on LA Noire. He worked at Ratbag on all kinds of games like Wheelman, and I can't remember too many of the other games. He likes to talk about his cancelled projects more than his released ones for some reason, because he's been in a lot of Australian studios that have shut down and they're working on interesting things.
Oh, right.
So he was at Pandemic, which was heavily rumored to be working on the Batman game. Not that I'm saying anything official. And yeah, and then he worked at Sega with me for a couple of years, so that was our connection. And the third guy is Jeff Van Dyke, who's actually he's a super veteran compared to us. He's been in the industry since God knows when. Like, he's responsible for the soundtrack to games like Skitchin and the first
Skitchin?
Need for Speed. Yeah.
I remember that.
So he goes back a long way with EA and Sega and all these different places. He worked at Sega with us, so that's our connection to him. And the three of us actually went our separate ways for a while and decided in February of this year to reunite and start our own indie studio because we wanted to make smaller, more focused games that we had more creative control over. So I'm handling the design. I white box a lot of the levels and I come up with a lot of the enemy designs, the level designs, and general gameplay design. Tim, who was an animator beforehand, is now doing all of our programming, all of our art, all of our visuals, everything, just on the one guy. And it's his concept as well to begin with, so some of the design. So he's kind of a one-man band. And then Jeff is handling our dynamic music and sound effects and all kinds of things in the audio realm.
It's, I mean, from the builds we've had, I mean, I remember saying when we got the first one, I thought it was finished. This was, good to go. And then up to the latest one we received, we've noticed all the different changes and the little tweaks you've done to it. And thinking, yeah, this is just getting better. I'll shut up now.
Thank you. I should probably mention the name of the game we're working on, actually. It's Assault Android Cactus, for anybody who hasn't heard of it. You guys have done a great job of trying to help get the word out. But
or greenlit it.
Yes, greenlight it right now.
Yeah, go and do it. Stop listening and go greenlight it. Now.
Indeed. Now, I can explain the game in probably one sentence, but that's not really what's wanted.
I'd love to hear your explanation of the game. You're someone who's played it and enjoyed it, so you tell people in your own words what you think it is.
Fast-paced twin-stick shooter.
Featuring female badass robots.
I said one sentence, Rob.
No, there was a semicolon in there. It's fine. It's still one sentence.
Don't get me on semicolons, mate. There's that song in there. Anyway, yes. Tell us in your own words, what you think at Assault. Pardon?
Your description was pretty apt, so I'll just expand on that, I suppose. Yeah, it is a high-pressure, fast-paced twin-stick shoot-'em-up. I think in terms of what we're doing different from every other high-pressure twin-stick shoot-'em-up, we've got dynamic levels, so shifting blocks and pillars, and the landscape can kind of change as you're playing in it, which makes
I really like that. Honestly, when not so much the first levels with the elevator, but when you got into what I would classify as the lobby level.
Yeah.
The second realm.
Yeah, the lobby level. Yeah, when I assumed you were going down an elevator and then you're sort of working your way back up the tower or something. I don't know. But when literally the minute you killed the last one and it went like that and it flipped, I'm thinking, oh, okay, right, and now it's gone even more mad. I mean, it's doable in one person, but really, this is going to be insane with multiplayer, and I assume when it does turn multiplayer, it's going to get harder.
Oh yeah, we
Good.
scale up the enemy count.
You scale it up.
Yep. So
Oh,
there's like
nutty.
for every enemy you see, there are additional enemies when you're in 2-player, 3-player, and 4-player.
I mean, we've said
It's kind of crazy.
twin stick shooter, but I mean, would you accept the title or the description of a bullet hell shooter?
It is kind of bullet hell. We've got a lot of that element in there, especially with the bosses. They're straight out of like our favorite games, and Radiant Silvergun and Ikaruga and all those games.
Do you remember a game called Axel Ray on the SNES? Or Super Famicom? I don't know what it was.
I didn't have a SNES myself.
Okay, I wasn't sure what it was called over in Oz.
No. I had to play on my friend's SNES, and he wasn't into those games.
Oh, poor individual.
Now. The first boss there are patterns to it. I think it's fun working out the patterns and then trying not to die because of yeah.
It's old school, isn't it?
It is very much old school, and I always choose. Oh God, I can't even think of Molly. I think the character's name is the one with the auto seeking but rounds. Holly. Yep. That's it. Fucking, I was close. What did I say? Molly.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh dear.
You just looked at the red hair, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
She's great. The cannonball is one of my favorite secondary weapons. Just rips through enemies.
Yep, it's insane. It's great for the bosses.
Incredibly slow to move, but I mean, you knock off a few rounds of the boss with the auto because you can sort of at least keep your finger down, not have to concentrate on where you're shooting, and then you can sort of work on dodging, and then when you get a clear shot, you send it, and then I can actually beat him pretty quickly now that I know how to do it. What made you decide to choose now? Whether this was a conscious decision to begin with, but when I first got it, I went through all the characters to see which was my favourite. I can't think what the robot one's called now.
A Starch? The kind of one with
laser. Yeah. She's not initially available, is she?
No. Well, there's actually going to be a whole bunch of unlockable ones.
Oh, right.
Up to 8 total. So you start with 4 because you need to be able to go straight into 4-player co-op.
You do.
And you can't play the same character twice. We kind of set it up so you actually need to use all the different characters.
Oh, right. Okay, that's good then.
So the whole campaign and all the game modes are playable in up to 4-player co-op, and we wanted to make sure you had 4 unique characters available straight away.
Yeah.
And then as you play the game, each boss you defeat is going to unlock a new playable character. So Starch is the first of the 4 unlockable characters in the game.
I would ask for more details, but I don't want to know. I want to wait for the surprise, to be perfectly honest with you.
Alright, well, I can reveal the second unlockable character's name is Aubergine. So take from that what you will.
Purple. That's about the only thing I take from that.
Or either that or flinging vegetables as she runs.
Yep, one of the two.
I don't think it's vegetable related, Rob, as much as you may want it to be.
No, sorry, that's just me randomly highlighting things.
Now, is this game going to be specifically just for the PC, or are you going to try and push it onto everything?
We want to put it on everything, but we have to finish the game first. I mean, we'll get onto, I think you've got on your list of questions something about funding later on, so I'll explain that then. But basically, we're working really, really hard just to finish the PC version and make it as good as it possibly can be. It's going to be on Windows, OS X, Linux, so any PC operating system you care to name, it'll run on. I'd love to have it on a bunch of console or handheld devices, and we're talking to the people responsible for that. Rob's been pushing us towards talking to Shahid.
Oh, no, not GameStick. I haven't mentioned it yet.
Well, I'm mentioning them now. Try. Right. I think GameStick has a lot of potential, and we will keep pimping GameStick because the bloke from GameStick came on and he was a bloody good lad, wasn't he, Rob?
John's a very, very nice guy.
Good bloke.
I think the GameStick is cool. Probably not the best fit for this game just because it's kind of geared towards, I think, a little bit smaller or lower fidelity kind of games.
Go on, sorry.
I was just going to say, there's other games that I want to work on and games I worked on in the past that I think would fit really well on GameStick, but possibly not this game.
I can't remember. you sent me a link ages ago to another game which I had a go on, and it was fantastic fun. It was almost like an